Ну что ж, мы продолжаем играть в игру Dwarves. Так, еды, конечно, у нас не особо много.
Ah, your highness.
Heir apparent? What?
A slight expression of guilt flits briefly across Boindale's face, but he's soon back to his old self.
A scholar as High King has something.
Boindale nods in agreement.
As High King, you could unite the kingdoms and get.
I can't be High King. I got all my knowledge from books and.
Just talk to High King.
High King Gundrabur?
Old? He is ancient. Even by Dwarvish standards. He has been old for as long as I can remember. Belendalin has taken care of most matters for dozens of cycles. But Gundrabur always has the final word. His mind is younger than... Belendalin should become High King. I was there when a runt took his arm. He still managed to kill half a dozen of them afterwards. What fighting spirit. We had to drag him off the battle. The law requires that a firstling or a fourthling must be chosen as the new king of all dwarves. And, as the firstlings didn't turn up...
For the first time, you have the chance to appreciate the beauty of the place. You suddenly forget what you wanted to say.
I've never seen such masterful masonry. To be honest, I didn't even know that stone could be worked in such a way.
Ha ha ha! The secondlings are the best masons of all the kingdoms. That's how Fracas made us. Well, he made some of us into warriors too.
Boindale glances at his brother and he laughs with satisfaction while looking around the hall himself.
I think I'll continue to look around.
Don't get lost. And tonight, we will finally drink a love...
Та-да-да-да. Карт нету, ничего нету. Сюда нельзя войти. Закрыто. Так, заглянуть в бездну. Куда убежал?
You can't see the bottom. When the secondlings named the Blue Range their home, there was nothing here but hard rock and a few small caves. Fantastic.
Да, это хорошо. Закрываете проход, да?
Andakai, what is it?
I came to return these books to you, Tungdil. Luckily, I was able to make sense of most of it.
You observed how the Mager took time to study the books during your escape.
They are records from the Outer Lands. They tell of demonic beings from Barren Ground who can take possession of humans and invest them with great power.
Immortality, for example?
The Mager nods seriously.
They speak of an axe forged by the Undergrounders called Keenfire. It is said to have the power to cut through the flesh and bone of the living and completely destroy the demonic spirit deep within their soul.
So you think a demon from the Outer Lands has taken possession of Nudin?
He looked very different when I encountered him in Parista, and he rose from the dead even though you cut off his head. That can't be explained purely through the power of the perished land.
And he wanted to prevent these books from falling into our hands. That would only make sense if Keenfire had the power to defeat him. Where is this Keenfire?
I don't know if this weapon was ever forged. It requires rare materials and masterful craftsmanship. The purest, hardest steel, stone barbs decorated with runes. A hilt of Sigurdaisy wood, inlays made of all the noble metals, the blades studded with diamonds, smithed in the hottest forge.
We are dwarves. We have the most talented craftsmen.
And you have the Sigurdaisy wood. It is amongst the objects in your rucksack, which is fortunate as there are no more Sigurdaisies in Girdlegard. But even if you managed to forge the axe, it might all be just a fairy tale. It's too little to wager our lives on.
Do you know these undergrounders?
I have never heard of the Undergrounders, but I've been to the Outer Lands before.
It must be terrible. The hordes of Tion have marched from there against our strongholds for thousands of years.
It's not as bad as you think. It is certainly safer than a land in which a magus possessed by a demon is on the loose.
We can get all the missing materials, as well as a gem cutter, here in the stronghold. After all, Gandagar and his fourthlings are here. A stonemason from the secondlings, and I can smith.
The Maga looks at you thoughtfully, and for a short time it seems as though your enthusiasm is rubbing off on her. But then she says,
I wish you good luck, Tungdil.
You still want to leave Girdlegard, but what will happen to your realm and all the other realms?
I admire your optimism, my friend, but it isn't wise to stand in the way of a rolling stone. I don't wish to give up my realm, but I would only be prolonging the suffering unnecessarily.
But
you don't want to let the last Maga in Girdlegard go. Unfortunately, you can't think of anything that could cause her to stay.
Many thanks, Honourable Maga, for all that you have done.
Да, двое удалены. Осмотреть грибы с сыром.
A variety of cheeses, pickled cave mushrooms, toasted vault moss, and some smoked sausage. Mmm.
The intense smell of the cheese makes your mouth begin to water.
Sigurdaisy wood. Very rare. I guess Lot Yonan wanted it to examine or experiment with.
You are exhausted from your adventurous journey, but it would be impolite to just go to bed if the High King is waiting for you.
Goren found an answer to the threat. Keenfire. No matter how difficult it is to forge it, we must do it. We don't know of anything else that could injure a demon.
You are exhausted from your adventurous journey.
Да, понял. Ну, если кто смотрит меня, надеюсь, что вы в своих чертогах. А, 48. Все-таки день один прошел, да?
Ah, Tungdil!
Andikai deciphered what was written in the books that Goren wanted to send to Turga the Fair-Faced. Nudin cannot be killed.
Undergrounders? What's that supposed to mean?
You shrug your shoulders.
Maybe there are dwarves in the Outlands too. Either way, they have described how this magical weapon can be made.
If it's got anything to do with magic, the weapon cannot be dwarfish. We shouldn't go anywhere.
Nudin fears the books. I believe that Keenfire is our best chance. I think I'll continue to look around.
Don't get lost.
Так.
Tungdil, come closer.
The power that the old High King raised.
The lost son returned.
You described
А чё, я не
when you're
заходил?
finished.
I was
And
well.
You
Your plan.
You
What?
is no.
I am.
And a
What kind of.
everyone and
Is this.
don't.
Alright then.
You can use. I have.
You say
Ну,
Vracus, who the High King's advisor has the build of a warrior. Even for a dwarf, High King Gundraber is very old.
так.
The coal fire is lit when the king...
О, стелу можно смотреть.
You skim over the ornate runes and look for the passage that Gundrabor and Belendalin told you about.
If there is more than one candidate from a kingdom, and none can bring together all of the votes for themselves in a ballot, the High King can decide whether to declare the candidate with the most votes the winner, or to have the candidates compete in a contest to determine the victor.
Оставить королям. Так, ну да, ладно.
Ah, tongue.
The High King and his advisor don't know where I come.
Whatever happens, we will stand.
You're not sure whether the moral support of your friends will be much...
I think I'll continue to look around.
Don't get.
Ну, теперь можно поспать.
You are looking forward to the first proper bed for weeks. You undress and lie down. Before you know it, your eyes close and you fall asleep. When your new armor is brought to you the next morning, you can hardly believe your eyes. However, as a smith, you can't stand the fact that you haven't contributed anything to it, and decide to add some inlays.
Even one who wears the armour of a prince can still be a farrier underneath it, don't you think, Tungdil Bolafar?
Just like a snake in elegant clothing is still a snake.
Ignoring your question, Bislipur eyes you very exactly before he speaks.
So, you want to be one of our kingdom? A foundling brought... And I don't think it possible either. There is no proof of your origin, and Gandagar's the council on his side. Why don't you spare yourself the disgrace? Put your scheme to bed, and we will take you into our kingdom. We will give you everything you need.
Proof? Oh, you mean like your letter that has been found after 1,000 cycles and makes the elves
It is no secret that the elves are deceitful, and
The elves have been displaced by the perished land and are now almost eradicated.
I said they are deceitful, not wise.
And what if I don't?
You wish to stand against your own king?
Children of the...
You are a dwarf, I confess, but no fourthling can remember a dwarf child.
And you know thousands of the fourthlings personally. and know exactly where they live in the mountains, what they're planning, or what small tragedies take place in their lives?
You have a sense that all the long evenings in the library and debating with Lot Yonan weren't for nothing, as Bislipper struggles for a reply, then lets it go. You have had enough of this dwarf. He makes you feel uneasy, or worse still.
Get out!
A humanized bastard will not issue me orders. Know your place, false dwarf.
The armour has been made by a master. Over the chainmail is steel plate, alloyed with gold in many places, which certainly appeals to you. There are also several decorative elements made of stone to honour its origin in the kingdom of the best stonemasons. You had just finished setting the last inlay, the seal of Lot Yonan, who brought you up and is gone, when Bislipper interrupted you. Some of the gold has left a coin-sized mark on the back of your hand. It hurts, but you like the idea that a bit of the metal you love is now part of you.
Not only is it worthy of a king and fits me like a glove, but it should also offer me additional protection in battle.
Хорошая броня, да? Да, мне не нужно продавать вот эти всякие ценные вещи. Не хочу. Шарфралы. Очень печально по-настоящему. Потому что ее больше нет. Ее съели. Да.
That is why I, too, lodge a claim to the throne and why I think I am the more capable heir.
Thank you for your speech, Tundil Bolafar. The council may now ask questions.
Bislipper?
Nothing you say will convince anyone here. You didn't grow up amongst us, and no one knows if you really are a fourthling. I do not believe there has ever been a more unworthy heir to the throne of the High King. You are just wasting our time.
A new perspective is sure to be good for the dwarves. As an outsider, I will be a breath of fresh air and bring new ideas.
Might be true.
We don't need to be told this by some spring chicken.
We know ourselves what's best.
Fresh air? Close the window. There's no reason to change anything.
Yes, the dwarf from the second...
You say that a war against the elves would be madness. But how can such a young...
If we get drawn into a conflict against the elves, then we are no better than the Alfar who have fought with the elves for...
He's right.
Well...
Of course we're better than the Alfar.
outrageous.
Yes? Your question?
Just so I get this right, you want to forge a weapon that is described in a...
I have most definitely seen it. Goimgar, Yellow Belly, Shimmerbeard.
We have seen the perished land with our own eyes, and its master Nodon could not be killed. Many have died for the books in which it is written how Keenfire can be made, and the Magus did all he could to get his hands on the two halves made of Sigurd Daisy wood. Those are the facts, whether you like them or not. These problems won't solve themselves, so I ask you, is it the Dwarven way to step aside and do nothing, or is it our way to act?
To act!
We don't hide away.
If the humans won't stop the perished land, then we will.
We shouldn't get drawn in. Let's show the Magus the strength of the Dwarves.
I have heard enough. The council has heard the words of both, and those who wish to see Gandagar Silverbeard from the Silverbeards, the king of the Fourthlings, as my successor. Gandagar has received more votes.
Very good. Ha ha!
Excellent.
Here's to Gandagar! Long live our new High King!
However, the result was not unanimous, and as acting High King, I avail myself of my right to demand a contest between the aspirants.
What is this?
But he won the ballot.
It's the rules. The High King has the right to do so.
Respect! He is still the High King.
Silence!
You have heard the High King's command. Write down your challenge for the aspirants. Are you ready? The one that masters this task first will become the High King. It is an expedition. The trial is to lead a group to forge the axe Keenfire in the Grey Range, which can then be used to fight against the Magus Nodon.
An expedition into the perished land?
Ha ha! Brilliant!
You can't be serious.
That's what I call a worthy challenge, don't you think?
I call it luck, Scholar. Of all the challenges, Bislapur draws this one.
Yes. Luck.
To byś tak i tak.
My king, don't demand this of me. Why me, of all people?
You are one of my best gem cutters, and I promise to support him. It should be a fair contest. Or should I break my word just because of you?
But...
You will go, Goimgar Shimmerbeard. Do not put us to shame. Follow Tungdil's instructions. Go! And come back in good health.
And with that, our group is complete.
Who have you chosen as Mason?
Good day, gentlemen.
Bavragar? The old drunkard?
Old drunkard? He assured me he's the best stonemason here. The High King himself sent him.
Well, I said I was precisely the stonemason you need. I didn't exactly say I was sent by the High King.
You let yourself be tricked by a drunkard.
I don't want him with us.
Rest assured, Boindil, I too could imagine better company. But Tungdil gave me his word.
Yes, I gave you my word. And as long as you are capable of doing the stonework needed for Keenfire, you are welcome. Girdlegard is at stake here.
I wish you no ill fortune, Tungdil, but also no good fortune. The throne belongs to me, and through my victory, Vracus will show the clans.
The task is clear to the contenders? The first to forge Keenfire and bring it back here has proven his abilities and will be our new High King to lead us in battle against Nod On.
It will take months to complete the task. The journey to the Fiflings alone is a long and dangerous business.
Dangerous, yes, but not necessarily long. Do you know the old tunnel system that connects the Dwarven kingdoms?
Tunnels are all well and good, but why should we get there so much quicker under the ground than over it?
A knowing smile plays on the mouth of the advisor.
Well...
Да. Отправляемся мы куда-то, не понятно куда. Я понял.
Pretty impressive what our forefathers achieved here, isn't it?
The kingdoms all work together. If we do the same, nothing is impossible.
Hear, hear.
I hope you understand me asking, but there seems to be bad blood between you and Boy.
It's nothing that will endanger our mission.
There's more behind it than commonplace hatred.
Bavragor doesn't react. His gaze is directed towards events that took place.
I still don't understand why you tricked me and why you were so set on
I have been the Master of Stone for more than 200 sun cycles. My work is admired all over Girdlegard. There has never been a better secondling mason than me. But today, I don't want to be remembered as a drunkard with the chisel trembling in my hand, but as Bavragor Amethyst, undefeated Master of Stone who brought Keenfire to life. One last masterpiece.
You really should rein in your drinking. We need you in good shape.
There are some who say I'm only the Master of Beer and not the Master of Stone anymore. But don't worry, I haven't forgotten. I can't forget, no matter how much I drink. I wonder why we haven't seen any sign of Gandagar recently. Perhaps they took a wrong turn somewhere. I'm sure we'll reach the Fifling Kingdom before them.
We're not on the way to the Fiflings. We are on the way to the Firstlings. We're probably already under the land of the Custodian.
The Firstlings? Why?
The Firstlings have been the best smiths in Girdlegard since the Fiflings were wiped out. Only they can alloy Tionium and Palladium, which are actually mutually repellent. Anyway, we could use all the help we can get in the battle against Nodon and...
Да, печально. Ушла.
Damn. Goimgar.
We won't get further this way, Scholar. What now?
It's all your fault, you imposter.
It is good that you are still alive. We need you for our mission. I'm not interested in the title of High King. I am trying to save Girdlegard. Even if you don't believe anything else, you must believe this.
I don't have to believe anything. I am here against my will. My own thoughts are my...
Enough! Gather up all the materials we can still save. If we manage to reach the Firstlings, we can get anything we're missing there. And it should be less than 200 miles to their stronghold.